Hello, friends. We are back. I hope you enjoyed that short recess we just had. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back to the Steemit Basics. Come on back in, everyone. Back to your seats. Enough chitter chatter among yourselves. We are going to continue on with our lovely show. Now, I just had a guest audience ask, what is Steemit? My friend, Steemit.com is a blogging site where you get paid to write depending on a couple of things: how well you write, how well you engage, and how much others enjoy your writing. Keep those three things in mind, and you too can be successful. If you're interested in joining, this is the site to join. Click on there, sign up, and request, and that will bring you many crypto riches. Hopefully. Some of us are still struggling through, but we will make it, that's for sure. So before we took that little break, we talked about blogs, we talked about posting, we talked about wallets, we talked about following, we talked about interest. Seems like we've been doing a heck of a lot of talking, but hopefully you grabbed a couple of things that you really enjoyed from that. And we ended on the topic of communities. Now, obviously you guys are here and you are part of the greatest community of all, the Peace, Abundance, and Liberty Discord that is connected to the Minnow Support Project, and we are committed to helping you, a minnow, be the biggest whale on the platform by teaching, educating, engaging, and connecting your interest from individual to other communities and building it stronger, because people connect to people, but people connect to commonalities and interest. So if you're interested in something, like I am Brazilian, I love my Brazilian community. I eat rice and beans, it feels like 3 times a day. So whenever I feel or meet another Brazilian, it's their instant connection, because our backgrounds are very similar, our interests are somewhat aligned, and our cultures go hand in hand. And so it's always a lot of fun. And whatever that may be for you. I know some of the folks here really love photography, and so talking about equipment and scenery and pictures and lighting and graphics and blah 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 that I have no idea about, well, they can communicate with each other and share their interest and support each other for it. So as you continue to grow on this platform, keep in mind there is a place for you, and maybe you may outgrow the place that you start, but that does not mean you stop growing or you stop helping others and you stop giving back, or you stop building community. It just may look different, and that's a-okay. So if you're ever looking for a community that has a specific niche, that has a specific focus, you just let us know, or like I said, go to the Middle University and take a look there. We have a listing of some of the most active communities on the platform. There are a plethora of more on there. However, I would recommend picking 1 or 2 or a few really engaging in there, and then kind of branching out. It's very easy to become very overwhelmed on the platform and doing one too many things. You find a Discord you love, you find friends that you love, somehow you find yourself as a moderator, then a teacher, and then on the radio. That's funny how these things progress, and they're not bad. They're not, they're just challenging. And so pace yourself, take it slow, take it easy. Become a greeter if you can. Go to the shallow end and greet a whole bunch, because we could always use more people greeting. And so, folks, that is what I have for Steemit Basics for you. I was having a lunch with a friend from Florida who is Brazilian, who just joined the platform. And she kind of inspired today's lesson, because she had just got on the platform. She had invested in a couple of coins, and she said it's just so much and it's so overwhelming. And she started asking me about what is a wallet? Do I have to wait 7 days for a payout? Which, yes, you do have to wait 7 days for a payout. But what if I join the Minnow University and I want to register when we open up the registration again? I said, don't worry about it. Just let us know that you need help. We will send you the funds and help you get started. It's really intended to be a free service for you to engage with the community. We do offer some extra help to kind of to get you started, but the intention is not for you to get so hung up on the, what's it called, the free upvotes. But hold on a second, folks. There you go. Not so much get caught up on the free upvotes, but really to commit to engaging with the community and finding like-minded people in order to build within themselves. And so that's always really cool. And so as you find similar people who you follow, I would love to know whom you think is the best Steemian to follow. Now, I think starting out, I try to follow as many people as possible to kind of get a gauge of what I liked and what I didn't on the community. And as I progressed on here, I found that a couple of people were really generous. And as they posted, they also encouraged comments. And if you put a comment, they were kind enough to put a lovely upvote. And so, my friends, if you are just starting out and you are looking for some way to build yourself up and build that lovely wallet of yours, people ask you or encourage you and highly recommend you to comment, because sometimes they upvote everything. Sometimes they extra upvote something if it's funny or interesting or over the top, so really be creative with it. But I know 3 people that in the very, very beginning, I always made an effort to leave some kind of comment because I knew they were going to upvote me because they were just that generous. Some of them have been slacking off and don't do it as often, but they generally do it throughout. And one of those people is Papa Pepper. Papa Pepper, as we all know and love, is one of the biggest whales on here, who's always having these crazy contests. I'm really upset that I completely forgot and lost after the first day the selfie contest, because I would have dominated as I was, but life got busy and I missed it. But if you leave a comment, he always upvotes it if it's a good one, if it's engaging, if you actually read it and left a comment that made sense. Another person who's great is Agrod. Agrod posts all the time, a lot of helpful information on there. He actually started this platform. He typically always upvotes as well. And Stacken is another mega dolphin on there as well that I recommend. And I think if you start following these people, you'll start to notice that they support a lot of other people that are really interesting to follow as well. Although I don't recommend you guys just leave a comment to receive a free upvote, because they don't always do it. I just noticed they do it more often than not if you leave a worthy comment. Other people will upvote it as well if it's really funny, then everyone kind of gets into it. So I encourage you to do it. And I will actually type their name in there so that you know who it is. Yeah, it kind of depends. Someone asked who is Stacken, and he's kind of all over social media at the moment. When he hit on here, he kind of blew up. He's on Facebook, he's on Instagram. Everywhere he goes, he just kind of brings a large following into it. He's recently got into crypto. Well, I wouldn't say recently. It's probably been a year and a half now. But he's all in, honed in, ready to rock and roll type of guy. And his posts are generally really short and to the point, but always a lot of fun, and he engages a lot. And sometimes he has weird contests that's really easy to win as long as you respond to the comment or question that he has. So if you're new and you're starting out and you're trying to find some extra ways to win some dollar bills, that, my friends, is one way to do it. And, there are some people who encourage, discourage, don't talk about it, are unsure how to do it. But BitBots is another way, once you've built a little bit of a wallet, where you can place a bit and get some extra upvotes on your post. However, I encourage you not to use it just on yourself. Use BitBots on other people, and you will see that people are really appreciative of it. And, there's a saying, the more you give, the more you receive. I don't know. I just recommend it, but that's one of the other ways you guys can do it. Now, another thing that's interesting is if you're just starting out, you count every single person that follows you. That means a lot to you. That is your bread and butter. And eventually you will figure out that some people, even though they follow you, they don't really exist. And we call those people dead followers. They're either people who have joined the platform and are no longer here, or they no longer post and only upvote, or they no longer do either. So I found this interesting website that you guys can all check out. And I would recommend you check it out before you do one of those, I reached 200 followers, I reached 500 followers, I reached more followers yesterday than I did today. Yeah. I would check that, because that kind of gives you an overview of how many followers you actually have. Yes, don't forget about your furry followers. They're the furry fuzzy ones that are generally in pink or confused about who they are. Either way. Now, if my computer would load, I could show you this. But if you go on the Twitch feed, you'll see this extremely scary looking skull with a very cool design. There's flowers and lots of pink, so you think I'd love it. The skulls are just not my thing. But it says dead followers, and there you can put in whatever Steemit name you would like. So you can check your own, or you could check others. And that, once it decides to load, see, look, there you go. Someone was nice enough to post it in chat. Yeah, that's how you know how many followers you have, how many are following you. And that post count in the middle also includes how many comments you have left and how many replies you have left. And this reminds me, it's very important to respond to those who leave comments. So even though you may not be one of those people who automatically upvote every single person who leaves a comment, people generally leave a comment because they want to engage and talk to you and may or may not be on Discord, or they may have a question, or they may have a thought that they would like to pass by you. And so make sure that you reply, even if it's just to say thank you for stopping by, or that's funny, or that's hilarious, or right back at you, Bucky. Whatever the case may be, always reply back to the people who are kind enough to leave a comment, because that did take some time for them to read it and others. Now I get it. If you posted once or twice, you always get those people who leave a comment a minute after you've posted, and you're convinced that no matter how quickly they can read, there is no way they got through your 500-word post that quickly. Yes, my friends. So don't do the Steemit ultimate sin, which is say my name incorrectly. And the ultimate sin number 2 is ask for follow or upvote for upvote, especially since most of the people who say that don't actually follow you and don't actually upvote you, which I always think is funny. And I always feel the need to ask them, like, you didn't actually upvote me. You don't actually follow me. So what are you doing? Why would you do that? Or I just tell them that that is frowned upon on this community. Probably shouldn't do that. Another good point Occupied Wallet mentioned, he's like, if you have a 10-minute video and there's a comment 2 minutes later. Granted, though, at times I will skip through videos. So a 10-minute video might take me actually 5 or 3 minutes to watch, because I'll skip during things that I don't necessarily want to hear, care to hear, are particularly targeted towards me. So I get it that maybe not the full 10 minutes they didn't watch, but 2 minutes after you just posted truly does not make sense. I get it. It's true. I give people the benefit of the doubt with that sometimes, because videos can be longer. Sometimes videos I just watch later and I'm just excited that they posted, so I leave a random comment to let them know, hey, I like what you're doing there. I'm going to watch this later, but know that I support you. And some people leave really, really long videos. Now, if you're into the whole DTube thing, the YouTube scene, and you want to do the vlogging on Steemit, I highly encourage it. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that when I'm on Steemit, I don't necessarily watch the videos. I always see if they left some sort of recap or if they wrote it out so I can read it. Now, granted, I check Steemit on my phone, and so a lot of times I'm reading these things while I'm waiting in between meetings, while I'm waiting to start a meeting, end a meeting, whatever the case may be, throughout the day with work. And so I'm not always able to listen to the videos. So if you're one of those people who love to leave videos, highly encourage it. Please do it. But if you could just write a summary with it or kind of recap it in words for those of us who don't necessarily watch the whole videos, just so that we could also engage with you and be a part of the conversation that you so love us to have with you. Now, I'm sorry, guys, my internet is not cooperating with me. It is showing weak signs, and it doesn't seem to want to load this phenomenal page of mine. Go figure. It is just one of those days. So, when you have a chance, go ahead and check that dead follower link, and let me know how many followers you have, how many dead followers you have, and how many dead followers are because they don't post anymore, but they still vote, or they don't do either. Because you may be surprised, there are a lot of people on the platform who decided not to post and just curate. There's lots of reason for that. And no shame against it, it's part of it. And another one that I love to check, probably because it doesn't really affect me, but there used to be links where you can check on who has flagged you. Now, if you don't know what a flag means, it means someone has downvoted your post. There's a lot of talk on the Steemit platform right now about flagging, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifference. The truth in the matter is, if you get downvoted, you lose the rewards that you were entitled to. Anyone can flag, and it all depends on how much Steam power you have. Now, the website that usually summarizes how many people have flagged you or if you've ever been flagged doesn't seem to be working. So, this is something else that you can check. It is called SteamD. And I've put mine up there, so if you just wanted to get a general idea of what it looks like, but you can put your name. Trick of the trade is when you're on steemit.com, if you just take out the IT and put a D with your username, it will pop up right there and then. And what it tells you is everything that's going on behind the scenes. What you have upvoted, what you have downvoted if you did, all the replies that you received, all the comments you left, how much voting power you have, what is your bandwidth, your reputation, how long you've been on the Steemit platform. Interesting fact, they do it based on days, and after you've reached 1 moon, they do it on moon counts. I don't get it. I don't know why. It's just a thing that's there. Correct. Someone is saying in chat, I had said entitled to receiving. You are correct. It could have earned. So if you get downvoted, the amount that you could have earned is decreased. Some may say that you are entitled to it because you did get it in the beginning. It's relative. I'm not here to argue, neither here or there. Now, bandwidth is an interesting one because there was time where the bandwidth was an issue that didn't allow people on the platform to post, and it just kept giving this error sign. I will wait if we have time for Shane to come back because I think he could better explain that than I. But we do have a couple of lovely other witnesses here. If you'd like to hop on air with me and explain to the lovely folks what the bandwidth is and why it's sometimes given error on Steemit, you're more than welcome to do so. Just type right in there, and I will hop you right on for you to explain. But this is something else that you can use as well. It also tells you which witnesses you have voted for. At the very, very bottom, you will see the people that I have voted for. You get 30 witness votes. You can change them at any time. No one is locked in for any period of time for any given reason. You can unvote and vote as often and as much as your heart desires. But you only get 30 people to vote. So do your due diligence, find out who you should vote for and why. If you have any questions, let me know. I do have about 3 or 5 that I promote on a daily basis and would love to encourage you to do the same. And on here you can also find posting keys. So these are the 2 apps that I use to post as well. And it doesn't actually post your owner and active key, but it just lets you know that you do have that as well. So this is another lovely site that I like to use in order to get some information for different things that are going on the platform, especially when things start to get a little haywire. I don't know if you guys have some websites that you love to use that really, really help you kind of gauge on what's going on the platform. And if you do, pop it in the chat room right there, and I will share it with the cool kids going on. Let's see what other... Oh, I have a HTML tutorial that I have bookmarked as well. I sometimes reference this. If you're ever curious on how to do something, this is a fun tutorial to follow, and it's a good reminder because sometimes I forget how to do it there and I'm just hitting my head against a wall and I'm like, I don't know what to do. That, my friends, is a good go-to. Oh, I got an error sign for another bookmark. It seems like I'm going to have to update my bookmarks. A lot of these websites are not working anymore. Oh, here we go. This is one that I use for flagging. So take a look at that one. And that, it says, who hates you on Steemit? Now keep in mind, people probably don't really hate you. But if they do downvote you, this is one place where you can check. You type in your username, you click find. You get this funny little thing moving around that tells you who hates you. So if you look at me, it looks like no one really does for me. But if you look at someone who's a little bit more active on the platform, who would probably put some controversial topics, such as the beloved aggroed, and you click find, you may see that it may be a little bit different. So keep in mind, the longer you're on the platform, the more engaged you are, And depending on what conversations you find most interesting, you may find yourself in a bit of people who have different opinion and express it differently. As we have seen here, there's no right or wrong or reason for it. Everyone has the right to do it. And it seems like everyone is having a bit of issues with the internet. So I'm glad it's not just me, because this does not seem to be working. Now, if you guys are sitting there trying to follow along and you're like, oh my gosh, there's just so much. There's on the Steemit platform, there's a lot going on. And it looks like outside of the Steemit platform that you use for the Steemit platform, there's a lot going on. Well, you're not wrong. There is a ton of stuff that kind of helps you become the best Steemian that you can, but it's not all necessary. So you'll find the things that are interest to you that help you, that helps you do what you like to do best on here, and you just do that. There are a ton of tools out there that different witnesses will create for you to utilize at different point in time that helps you. But if it's nothing with what you want to do on the platform, hesitate not. Just keep in mind that as long as you're on steemit.com, you're clicking that post button, you're taking time to write thoughtful engagement posts that are of passions to you. There are only 2 things that I ask of you guys, really, is please, 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 please have someone proofread it. Because although you are a proliferal, amazing writer, just get a second pair of eyes. I know I struggle with the English language, and so I try to have everything go through our English and grammar, English spelling and grammar channel. If you click on there, the pinned will give you instructions on how to type up a post before posting, preferably. Put it in a Google Doc or a HackMD, post it in that channel, and our beloved Lena DR will proofread it for you and put some suggestions or recommendations. You can either accept or decline them, totally up to you. And then you can just copy and paste it and put it on your lovely post. Now that is the first thing I ask of you. The second thing I've asked of you is please, 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 as you start to become more active and you join different communities and you start to give back, do not forget about your witnesses. There are so many people on the platform, and I think the last time I heard it correctly, maybe 5%, maybe 2% actively vote for witnesses. And if you don't know, a witness is what helps the Steemit platform do what it does best. And only the top 10 or 20 are truly, truly talking to people that can make an influence in it. Now, if you know anything about mining coins, or different coins have something called a witnesses, but they basically mine the Steemit coin. And so whenever you upvote, post, or comment, it creates a block, and someone needs to process that block. The people who process it are called witnesses. And the only way the witnesses receive a certain amount of blocks is by you voting for them. So it's important that you do it. Nonetheless, it may be, it may change over time why you vote for a certain witness. Hang on 1 second. And that's okay. It's okay to change your mind as you go about doing it for it. Just don't forget to do it. And if you have any questions, you can even message them, and some of them will even respond. The rest, I guarantee you, you will figure out along the way. The platform seems very, very confusing, and it seems very, very overwhelming. Nonetheless, guys, it is just a matter of practice. Just like anything new, just like anything when you first start out, you'll have a ton of questions. You'll be a lost little puppy. But the more you do it, the better it is, and you have a ton of people here that you can use as a resource. As I mentioned, you can do the spelling and grammar to check your grammar and your spelling and a little oopsies that you may have here or there. You have people you can ask questions for. You have a free upvote services by being part of this community. You have Minnow University, where it has all the information compiled into one place. So if you have any questions, you can just reference back to it. You have our Discord, where you can ask questions as well. And as you continue to learn, do not hesitate to be an open source and resource for other people as well. And kiddos, I think that is all that I have for you today. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, good jokes, anything like that that you would like to know. I appreciate all you guys being here today, but class is dismissed. We may now enter recess. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. I am your pink professor. You may call me Miss Elizabeth. And this project was started by Witness Swelker 101, our beloved Shane, who was caught up at work. He was entering his last patient of the day, so hopefully he'll be able to catch us before we end. But until then, I will see you next week, guys. I don't know what we'll be covering there. I wanted to make sure we covered a bit more of everything here, but it's always a surprise for me and for you. So I guess we'll find out next Tuesday what we'll be talking about. But feel free to reach out if you need anything.